Hello, TankSpot visitor. There is one question that I can't really evade any longer, although I've been trying to. So, here goes. Why I play a priest. This is actually going to be a longer recollection of how I came to play WoW and why I started and why I started playing a priest. So if you're not interested in any of my game history, I suggest stop watching right now. You had a fair warning. I started playing WoW back in vanilla. Actually, my boyfriend at the time was playing WoW and wanted me to pick it up so we could have something to play together. You know, the usual story. I was actually really biased against the game at that point. I mean, it was WoW. It was still big even when it had just come out. And I just thought it looked way too comic-y and way too unreal for me to even be able to enjoy it. So I pretty much just picked it up to talk crap about it. Sorry, Blizzard, I was young and dumb. But I did pick it up, which is the important part, and I decided to give it a go. So I made a Night Elf Druid on the Moonrunner US realm. Why that class and race combo, you ask? Well, being the girl that I am, I wanted to play an elf. Yep, stereotype right there, you can make fun out. And I like the versatility that a druid seemed to promise at the time. I ended up leveling exclusively with my boyfriend, which actually took away a lot from the game experience for me, because I just ended up running after him and healing his bum instead of actually thinking for myself or even, get to read the quest descriptions or, well, enjoy the world. So yeah, he also had a pretty short fuse, so he would get mad at the game pretty often. In short, I didn't really learn anything about the game, the lore, the wit behind it, how to play my class, or anything really. And I made my boyfriend mad on top of that. So up and hitting 60, where he quit out of boredom, I was left in a game that I had no clue how to play without any gold. And if you remember how hard it was to make money in vanilla, just imagine how hard it was to make money in vanilla as a complete moron. So in short, I quit, and I ended up not touching the game again until a couple months after BC hit. That was when a couple real-life friends of mine had picked the game back up and decided to try and make my boyfriend and I pick the game back up as well, which after a lot of convincing actually worked. But that time around, I decided to do things differently. For once, we started up on the Horde side. At that point, Blood Elves had been released, so hooray, I could still be a skinny chick with pointy ears. And I decided to go for the Master of Healing, instead of what I perceived druids to be in vanilla, less than good at everything. And I also decided to level all by my lonesome to actually have an idea of what I'm doing and what class I'm playing. So that's how my priest was born. Healing quickly lost its appeal when I realized how tough it was to level as a squishy thing all by myself. So wands just quickly became my best friends, and then shadow form when I finally got it. But even then, leveling was just a pain. But I decided to tough it out because I really wanted to know what it was like to have an endgame character and, actually do stuff when you hit the level cap. So after lots of virtual sweat and corpse runs and hatred for Hellfire Peninsula and Fell Reavers, my baby priest finally hit 70. I had found out how to face melt at that time, and since most of my real-life friends had quit the game again at that point anyway, I decided to not go for the whole healing thing and started a career as Shadow Priest in Karazhan. Boy, did I get lost in that place, and found out in just how many ways I can kill myself with Shadow or Death. But I was good at what I did in Karazhan, so I stuck with it. Stuck with Karazhan for months. About half a year in total, really. Yes, half a year of Karazhan. But at that point, I had tasted blood and I decided I wanted more, so I left the guild that was going nowhere to actually go and see some content. I was actually pretty bored with Shadow at the time, so I leveled a Warlock that turned out to be equally as boring. So I was a little stuck at where to go from that point, where a little early in Serpent Shrine Cavern, the guild that I was in was lacking healers, so I decided to jump in and help on my priest. I was terrible. But surprisingly, I wasn't as terrible as I thought I would be, and I was intrigued by the idea of healing outside a 5-man setting. Circle of Healing and Prayer of Mending struck me as if I hit these I don't suck as bad buttons. So I went with it, and since then I've barely gone back to DPSing in a 25-man setting. Certain fights in like Temple and also Sunwell Plateau made me completely and absolutely love my class, and also made me experiment with how to get the most out of it. Some of you may remember Gurtok Bloodboil and like Temple. Gosh, I missed that fight. Constant party-wide rate damage with a no cooldown Circle of Healing and Prayer of Mending. Of course, Circle of Healing was party-wide at the time, but that worked out quite well. I really enjoyed just finding new ways to stretch my mana pool and just abuse the shit out of the healing meters on that fight. I feel like such a nerd when I get excited about that, but whatever. Felmist and Sunwell was another one of those fights that I just looked forward to every raid week and that priests were invaluable for. I can't deny I kinda miss that. Class homogenization makes raid balance a lot easier, but being relied upon for a fight and, just breaking out those spells that are normally hidden away on a faraway keybind, it just made raiding very exciting. Also, Sunwell's overall difficulty, although hard modes do a decent job of achieving the same thing. Anyway, even when I couldn't abuse overpowered mechanics like COH, I had a blast as a priest. They were so versatile. I mean, I had amazing raid healing, and I actually also had longevity as a tank healer thanks to downranking and an actually useful greater heal. So, just having an efficient tool for every job that I was assigned to is what made me fall in love with my priest. Then the Wrath beta hit, and I was lucky enough to actually receive a beta key in my email, so I decided to make the most of it and leveled to 80 in the beta and also took part in the daily Nax resets. Beta as well as early Nax days actually had me pretty peeved at development since they completely eliminated downranking from the game. To make up for it, we were given a no cooldown Smart Heal COH, completely overpowered. And the only raid healing tool that even rivaled it was Wild Growth. While I really enjoyed that, I also realized that I was suddenly lacking the versatility. My role as Jack of all trades was a little bit gone and I was pushed into the role of raid healing, which I prefer. Can't put any other way. I love raid healing, but I did miss the versatility that I had before then. Then COH got nerfed, the cooldown, but POH got buffed and Serendipity got changed at the same time, so once again I was consoled. Although at that point in time, it started becoming apparent what potential druids had as raid healers. Then in Uldura, I think it was, POH got nerfed as well, and druids got 4-piece tier 8. So the gap started forming at that point. I actually greatly enjoyed Uldura, but that's because of the challenges that the hard mode actually posed. After Naxa was a refreshing change. Class balance, or the lack of it, has had me pouting a couple times since. I did not enjoy TOC, neither content-wise nor class-wise, but I was also working in retail at the time, so my limited playtime actually kept me from burning out on WoW. I've been enjoying myself as a priest in ICC again, but that's mainly due to encounter design. At this stage of the game, I'm a clear raid healer. To tank heal, I have to respec. So while I retain the ability to fill both roles, I miss the efficiency that I had of performing both tasks easily that I had at the end of BC. I also dislike the widening gap between druid potential and priest potential that I've been trying to ignore for the majority of the expansion. But at the end of the day, I still get to cast Prayer of Mending and Circle of Healing, the two spells that I fell in love with so long ago, and I get to make health bars go up while having pointy ears and riding dragons in a colorful fantasy world. So as long as those things remain, I look forward to the next hurdle and a whole new opportunity for class balance. Cataclysm. And that's it for this week's Marmot. It's now 3 a.m. and as you can probably see, I really need some sleep. So I'm gonna go do that. I hope you all have a great week and a happy chocolate factory happiness day. So yeah, you go and enjoy that.